Attention, anxious people, overthinkers, and folks that get ahead of themselves in your job search. This is for you. It's important that you remember this simple motto when trying to advance your career, asking for a raise, job searching, or doing anything that's career related. And that's that you want to remember first things first. Too often, high achieving professional women have so much going on in their head, so much pressure, stress, overwhelm, anxiety, nervousness, anxious thoughts that when it comes to trying to advance their career, they can get down a rabbit hole of negative thinking and what ifs and what abouts and never actually think about the best next thing that's required to advance their career. And when we let this overthinking rule the day, this leads to inaction and stagnation. And so I want to talk about some strategies if you feel like you're an anxious person, if you suffer from a diagnosed anxiety disorder, if you struggle with overthinking and procrastination. I want to provide you with some strategies for really thinking about how to do the first thing first, how to take immediate action and have a bias towards action so that you don't get stuck in your thoughts. So when it comes to thinking about your career and making sure that anxious thoughts and overwhelm don't cause inaction, I invite you to make a list. I'm big on making lists. I'm big on to-do lists. I'm big on pros and cons lists. I'm big on getting things out of your head and onto paper so that you can be really thoughtful about your decision making and you can see it all spelled out. I keep a notebook. I write in a notebook every single day. I write to-do lists. I write notes when I'm in meetings. I document things all the time just so that things aren't sitting in my head, but that they are documented on a piece of paper that I can refer back to when I need to make a big decision. And so when it comes to career decisions, I invite you to really spend some time reflecting on your current career situation and writing down what's working well in your current career situation and what you want to leave behind in your next role, in your next job, in your next position, etc. And I think this is really important because so often, we're unhappy at work. We feel unfulfilled at work. We feel undervalued at work, but we don't really ever assess why or what exactly has us anxious and nervous and scared and frustrated and disappointed and disillusioned at work, right? So it's really important that you document what's going on in your career and document what's working well in your career right now and what specifically is making you say this job, this role, this position, this company, this organization is no longer a good fit for me. So literally, I invite you to take a regular old piece of paper and write down what's working well and what's not. Right? So you can do that on a simple piece of paper, what's working well, what's not, and document what is working well in your career. Maybe you really like that your current job is close to home. It's an easy commute. You don't have to sit in the car for 90 minutes on the way to work. You like that about your job, but you hate everything else. You hate the pay, you hate your boss, you hate your coworkers. You don't really feel like you're doing meaningful work. You hate the rigid hours. You hate that the inflexibility, but that commute, you feel like there's nothing better than that, right? It's important to document what's working well there, and there probably is something. Maybe you like the stability at your current job. You maybe like the pay, but you don't like the people, right? There's likely something that you really enjoy about your current work, about the approach, the institution. Maybe it's the security and stability, and there's likely some things that you don't really like, right? Which is causing you to say this is no longer a good fit for you. But documenting what's working well and what's not really helps then set your values for the next stage in your career. And I'll give an example. One of the things that, in my last job search, one of the things that, I was really being really thoughtful about is that I wanted a job that was more flexible. I always enjoy the flexibility of working remotely or working from home. I don't mind going into the office, but I wanted a job that would allow me that flexibility. I like leading large teams, right? And so I like, having a job that allows me to lead larger teams and have more impact and to sort of have my impact spread across the organization, right? I'm a professional that, really values equity and inclusion. And I want to work for an organization that values that too, right? That's a top priority for me. And so those are things I was looking for. But, one of the things that I enjoyed about my former role were the people, right? Like I really enjoyed the people, the staff that I work with. They were stellar. They were smart. I got a chance to hire almost all of them. And so I really love that about those people, or about my last role. I really love the institution. It was a large institution, very well known, very well regarded, working for an institution that has, a positive legacy that's well regarded is good for your career. That means that other people are going to they're going to associate you with that positive legacy of the institution or that organization. Like that was something I liked. So really documenting what you like about your current job and what you don't like will help you lead you into a value exercise about what do I value at this stage in my career now that I'm moving my career forward. So maybe, when you first started your current job, you valued your time. And so you chose this job. Maybe they weren't paying you at the level you wanted, and maybe it wasn't doing the kind of work you wanted, but you knew that, the commute was only 15 minutes and there was nothing more important to you at that time than that. But now you're in a different season in your life. You'd be willing to commute to work for 45 minutes every day or on a flex schedule 3 times a week if it meant that you could earn higher pay and, you could do work that was more aligned with your interests, right? So really starting with what's working well and what's not, and then moving into what do you value in the season of your life really helps you make a decision about if you should even begin a job search. So often when I talk to women, they're like, well, what if I'm not good enough? What if I don't have the skills that they're looking for? I haven't interviewed in 15 years. What if I don't know how to interview? What if this, what if that, what if this, what if that? And, I always want to sort of invite professional women into, to start first things first. Let's not get overwhelmed. Let's not stress ourselves out. Let's not become wildly anxious about something that's all the way down the road. Let's take the first step in figuring out what's not working well in our current role, what is, and how that's aligned with our values. And then the step from there is, now that we know what's working well, what's not, now we know what our values are. Let's do some inventory and think about what are we good at? What skills, what knowledge, what talent, what expertise, what degrees, what credentials, what certifications, how many years of experience do we have? And how can we leverage all of that insight, all of that good work that we've done over the course of our career? How can we leverage that to identify roles that are aligned with the skills that we have, right? And again, so often we're like, well, what if they don't pay me the salary I want? And what if, the boss over there isn't as cool as my current boss, and what if this and what if that? And again, I really want to invite you to take the first step first. So what's working well in your current job? What's not? How does that align with what your values are in this season? And then from there, doing an inventory of what you're good at, what you're not good at, and thinking about how what you're good at is aligned with roles in the industry right now. And if all of that work feels really daunting, if you're like, oh my gosh, Ashley, like doing these self inventories, interrogating myself, really looking inward, that's really hard for me. Know that you're not alone, right? It's hard for a lot of people. But what's great is that I'm here to help you as a mentor, as a career coach. My job is to help professional women do these inventories, do this self-exploration, and set up a job search strategy that helps you first focus inward and then apply the strategies outward in the labor market. What's true is that this is a great time to be a job seeker. There are so many employers that are hiring right now. There are so many employers who are looking for top talent. And if you're a professional woman working in corporate, nonprofit, or educational leadership, and you're looking to secure a minimum of a $30,000 salary increase over the next 90 days, then I'm the career coach for you. My job as a career coach and as a mentor is to help you get out of your head, to stop the overthinking, to stop the overanalyzing, and to actually apply relevant strategy immediately to move your career from where you are to where you want to be. And one of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of women get stuck in their head, and they're like ruminating in their head. Should I do this? Should I do that? I wonder if I should do this. I wonder if I should do that. I don't know what to do next. What if this happens? What if that happens? And I'm like, baby girl, first things first. The first thing we need to do is figure out what's the best next step. We don't need to be all the way down the road trying, like, I don't know how to negotiate. What if they don't pay me the level I want? We need to figure out what we're good at. We need to figure out what we value. We need to figure out why our current role is no longer serving us, right? There's so much pre-work that we need to do, and we don't need to be worried about step 17 if we've not taken a step towards step 1, right? Like, and I think that, you know, sometimes we worry because we think worry is the work, but worrying isn't the work. Worrying isn't the work. The work is hiring a career coach. The work is coming to the sessions, doing the assessments. The work is applying for jobs. The work is doing informational interviews. The work is networking. The work is not applying for jobs that no longer serve you. That is the work. The work is not worrying. And if you find yourself doing a lot of worrying, you can pat yourself on the back like, I've been thinking about this for weeks, but the work is not worrying, right? And so I just want to invite you into action. One of my staff members often says, talks about having a bias towards action, right? Like, let your bias be, let me make a move. Let your bias be, let me take a step. Let your bias be, let me schedule a call with Ashley. Don't let your bias be, let me sit and worry about this for 3 weeks and drive myself crazy. And I think that, you know, as a mentee, you know, this is something you and I worked on, you know, a lot, right? Like, sometimes we can get in our heads and we start to spiral. But that's what the beauty of career coaching is. Like, I won't let you spiral. I won't let you get in your head. I am going to ask you the hard questions. I'm going to give you feedback. We're going to be working together for weeks, for months, right? So that I can make sure I support you and that you're not floundering trying to figure it out for yourself. So if you find yourself in a space of floundering, if you find yourself in a space of being in your head, if you find yourself stuck and not really understanding how to move your career forward, I want to invite you to schedule a call with me. I'm accepting new mentees into Mentor Me programs. So if that sounds like you, if you know you need career development support, then I invite you into mentorship. I'm so excited to serve you. Please schedule a call with me right on my website at mentor-me.org. That's mentor-me.org. Thanks so much for watching. And remember, first things first. The first thing is scheduling a call. See you at mentor-me.org. Bye.